So, all right, we're going to mute so that if anyone else does pop on, they won't make any noises. So there we go. All right, so we're coming to our comfortable seat. And in my classes for the last few weeks, we are covering these energy centers in the body. And we're all the way up to number 6. So that is our third eye, and it is the dark blue color. And so this is our intuition center, which really fits with when we have stuff going on in the body, we really need to tune into our intuition to be able to take care of ourselves. So that's a really important aspect of yoga. So the third eye, again, the color is dark blue. And if you would like to, you can take a finger up to your third eye and just let it rest for a moment. You can close your eyes if that's comfortable, and take a couple full breaths here. And as you let your breath get deeper and more expansive, keep your awareness focused at that spot, just above and in between the eyebrows. The affirmation for this energy center is, I follow the path of my truth, open to the clarity of my vision. I follow the path of my truth, open to the clarity of my vision. And now bring hands to connect at heart center. And as you press your palms together, lift your shoulders up and back. Think of shoulder blades engaging onto your back. As you exhale, tuck chin down, bow toward your heart, maybe allowing forehead and fingertips to touch. Honoring yourself for taking this time to check in. Then as you softly open your eyes and release your hands down, give your shoulders some rolls back. And some rolls forward. And now draw your shoulders up and back, and we're going to take some hugs. So reach your arms out long to the side. Plug in with your shoulder blades. Think of hugging them onto your back. And then as you exhale, wrap one arm over the other onto your back. Inhale, open it up. And exhale, wrap the other arm over the top. Inhale, open it up. And exhale, wrap your arm over. Inhaling and exhaling a couple more times on each side. And as you find those hugs on each side, just start to tune into anything showing up sensation-wise through your shoulders, maybe through that space between your shoulder blades. And now pause with your arms open, reaching through fingertips, plug in with your shoulder blades, and then take little circles backwards. And as you take these little circles backwards, just notice if you have stuff going on through the shoulders or through the neck, then it might be tempting to dip your head down here. Keep your head moving to the back plane of your body. And then pause and turn your palms up. Re-engage the shoulder blades and then take those little circles backwards. Full big breath. And then relax your arms down. Go ahead and say, ah, or you don't have to. Roll shoulders back again. And this time, a little movement through the head and your neck as you take those rolls back with your shoulders. You can turn your head, you can nod your head, you can take some ear to shoulder, whatever feels good in your body right now. And now take hands to clasp in front, pull forward with your arms and round back through your spine. Your chin tucks in toward your chest. Add a little bit of movement side to side here with your shoulders. Full big deep breath. Inhale, sit tall, and now we're switching the cross of our legs, coming to the less comfortable cross for yourself. You can always add propping here, maybe underneath your knees with blocks or whatever you happen to have. Walk your hands out to your knees, and again, press your spine back into this cat-like pose. Rounding into the upper back, your chin tucks down. Take a big deep breath in between the shoulder blades where your rhomboids are. And now inhale, sit tall. We're gonna make a 90-degree angle with our left arm, elbow out in front of you. Think of elbow and shoulder at the same height. Make a fist, hold on to your elbow with your right hand, and then draw your shoulder blade onto your back on the left side. From that place, you're keeping your elbow steady, even as you knock on an imaginary wall or door or whatever happens to be there on the left side of you. Keeping shoulders level, tendency is to do a little tilting here with your shoulders, but we're trying to work through the actual rotation. Take a full breath and just notice that for yourself. Notice what's there. And then release that. Go ahead and roll back with shoulders again. Roll forward with shoulders. Then shoulders up and back, 90-degree angle with your right elbow. Think of elbow straight ahead from your shoulder. Hold on to your elbow and then plug in with your right shoulder blade. Keeping your elbow right where it is, find that knocking motion. And as you do that knocking, instead of letting it be in the wrist, we're trying to let it be in the rotation through the shoulder. Take one more full breath. And then relax your arms. Roll back with shoulders. Roll forward with shoulders. And then lift your shoulders up and back. And we're going to do one more shoulder warm up here. So elbows hug by your sides. Those of you who've been coming to my class for a while are pretty familiar with this. I call it gratitude arms. Elbows hug in, palms are up, and then you're rotating your arms so your thumbs are moving toward the wall behind you. Now we're going to do two different things here with this. So first, little pulses with your arms so that you're working a little bit through that end of the rotation for yourself. Take a full big breath, lengthen through the back of your neck. Notice how much you might want to tilt your head down here. And then as open as your body is ready for, and then lift up and down with shoulder blades. So that's the second motion that we'll take here. And take a couple big breaths and just notice if there's any sticky stuff going on for you. And we're going only to that place that is right for our bodies, and we're all different with what's going on. So you get to really make that choice for yourself. Tune into a little intuition. Okay, now fingertips come out in front to connect. Elbows are lifted to shoulder height. Plug in with your shoulder blades here, but then as you exhale, you'll push your fingertips together and round back through your ribs and your upper back. Your chin tucks in. As you take this cat-like pose through your upper back, keep plugging in with your shoulder blades and take a big deep breath. And now inhale, rise all the way back up, release your hands down, and we're gonna make our way all the way to the front of our mat. So you can move through a down dog to get there, or just stand up, that's okay too. So as you come to the front of your mat, pause and set yourself up. Feet inner hip distance apart and parallel, lift and spread your toes, and then root them down. From that place, inhale, stretch arms up overhead. Exhale, soft knees, bend considerably for this first one, fold over your legs. Inhale, lengthen, hands up above your knees, send your sitting bones up, extend your heart forward. Exhale and fold. Now keep knees soft, squeeze your glutes, bring your hands to your hips, Lift up with shoulders and elbows and then rise all the way up to stand. Gratitude arms for a moment, big expansion through the chest. Then inhale, stretch up overhead. Exhale, soft knees fold over your legs. Inhale, lengthen part way, long through the spine, especially the front body. Exhale and fold. Again, knees bent, squeeze your glutes, hands to your hips. Lift up with shoulders and elbows and rise. Good. Again, one more time. Expand through the chest with gratitude. And then inhale, stretch up. Exhale, bent knees, fold over your legs. Inhale, lengthen part way. Exhale and fold. Plant your fingertips, and here is where you can always use blocks if you would like to. But step your right foot back into your lunge, and you have a choice here. You can keep your knee lifted, or you can bring it to the ground. Bring hands up to your hips to rise. Center with your hips, drawing the left hip crease back into space. Push down onto your hips as you lift your chest up, heart up. Maybe even tilt your head slightly up so your third eye is aiming up. Take one more big deep breath. Exhale, hands come all the way down to the ground. And we're gonna step back now onto hands and knees first. And set yourself up, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Evenly spread your fingertips and press your palms down. And now we're gonna find that rotation of the upper arm bones. So your elbow pits are trying to turn forward. Upper arm bones are rotating out. As you push and expand into the upper back, walk your knees back. And from this place, take a full big breath. So you now have a modified version of a plank pose. Head lifted to the back plane of your body. If you would like, you can lift your knees up here for more of a full plank. Deep breath. Lift your side waist up. Now knees down, hips come back to your heels. Take a child's pose. Hips as far back as is comfortable, and you might even have a blanket or a pillow underneath your hips here. Set your head on the ground or on a prop. Take a deep breath, let your breath become even and full. And now inhale, rise back to hands and knees. Rotate elbow pits forward and push. Tuck toes, lift hips into your downward facing dog pose. If that's in your practice today, you can always stay on your hands and knees, but send your sitting bones up. Tilt your pelvis. And then walk your way forward, coming into your forward fold at the front of your mat. Take an inhale and lengthen part way. Long spine. Exhale and fold over your legs. Plant fingertips. You're stepping left foot back this time into your lunge. Again, back knee up or down, your choice. Bring hands up to your hips to rise. And as you center with your hips, give that push down to help lengthen from hip to armpit. Expand and open through the chest. Maybe let your forehead be aiming up. Full big deep breath. Then exhale, hands come all the way back down to the front of your mat. Step back to your hands and knees. And we're gonna take this one more time as a little warm up for our low plank pose. I'm gonna take my sweatshirt off, so hopefully that gives you a little bit more of a visual. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Push down through palms and fingertips. And then rotate elbow pits forward. That upper arm bone rotation is a super helpful thing for the rotator cuff, but it's tough to maintain. So now push and walk your knees back so you're in more of a modified version of a plank pose. Take a full breath. If lifting your knees up is in your practice today, you're welcome to, but take one more big breath. Keep that rotation of upper arm bones and pushing, expanding into that space between your shoulder blades. Then knees down, hips to heels. Take a child's pose. And as you take a child's pose, if it feels good, you can bend your elbows, bring hands together in prayer position. Maybe walk your elbows straight ahead. And set your head down on something, whether it's the floor or a block. From this place, Think of drawing shoulder blades onto your back and taking another full deep breath. And now rising back up to your hands and knees, set yourself up, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Find that rotation of upper arm bones and push. Tuck toes if you'd like, lift hips, downward facing dog pose. Big breath. And then walk your way forward, coming into your forward fold at the front of your mat. Take an inhale and lengthen part way, long through the spine. Exhale and fold over your legs. Hands to hips. Press back onto the hips. Lift up with shoulders and elbows and rise all the way to stand. And now from this place, as you set yourself up, feet inner hip distance apart and parallel, we'll take one more shoulder stretch, getting a little bit into the stuff behind the shoulder blades, like the subscap. So now reaching arms up overhead, you're gonna bend your elbows, palms forward, take a hold of your right wrist. You can set your hands right on top of your head if that's in your practice, or if they need to be a little bit out in front, if you have some tough stuff with the shoulders going on, that's okay. Pull apart, like you're trying to separate your hands and engage, especially that right hand. Now plug shoulder blades in onto your back. You should feel a little more space through the tops of your shoulders. And now draw your right shoulder, your right elbow back in space. Put your shoulder blade on your back again. From that place, keep your elbow moving back, your shoulder moving back, but turn your ribs forward. Take a big deep breath. And remember, going only to the place that's right in your body. So that movement of your ribs forward or that movement of your elbow back might just be a little bit. It's okay. Deep breath. And then release your arms. Give your arms a little shake and a roll through your shoulders up and back a couple times. And then arms overhead. Palms forward, take a hold of your left wrist. And again, hand resting right on your head is okay, or it can be a little bit in front. Either way, pull apart. Now elbow draws back on the left side, shoulder blades plug in, but especially the left one. And then turn your ribs more forward, even as you keep your elbow back, shoulder blade engaged. Take a big breath. Good, and then gently release the arms. Again, give some shakes and some rolls back. And then inhale, stretch up overhead. Exhale, bent knees, fold over your legs. Inhale, lengthen part way. Exhale and fold. We're planting fingertips, right foot steps back into your lunge. Turn and plant your right heel this time so your foot's parallel to the back of your mat. Inhale, reach up for your warrior two. So your torso and your hips are aimed toward the right. Your knee is opening up toward the pinky toe edge. As you settle into your front knee and lift your arms, turn your palms up. Plug in with your shoulder blades. Lengthen the back of your neck and even turn your gaze toward your fingertips. Keep shoulders in this direction and even think of keeping your elbow pit trying to turn up, but turn your palms back down. Take a big deep breath. Good, now hands come behind your back to clasp. And as you clasp, inevitably what happens is the shoulders like to dip down. So lift your shoulders up and back. Keep a bend to your elbows, press your palms together, and the elbows hug toward each other and then reach back behind you. If this is tough on the shoulders, bring fists to your low back instead, okay? Take another big deep breath right here. And exhale, hands come down to the front of your mat, tuck your back toes and step forward. Inhale, lengthen part way. Lift your sitting bones broad through the front of you. Exhale and fold. Fingertips plant, step, Left foot back into your lunge. Turn and plant your back heel and rise up to your warrior two on the second side. Hips opening up, torso and hips toward the left. As you settle in, draw that opening into your knee all the way from the glute. Lift your ribs, reach your arms, take a big breath. And from here, notice, just look at the direction of your elbow pits and then watch them as you turn your palms up. Shoulder blades engage. Keep your elbow pits as turned open as possible and turn your palms back down. Full big breath. And then bring hands behind you to clasp. And again, lift up and open through the shoulders, broad through collarbones. And then elbows are bent, press palms, reach back through your triceps toward the wall behind you. Take a full big deep breath. Exhaling, hands come all the way down to the front of your mat. You're tucking back toes and settling back for a moment into a child's pose. Full breath. And now as you rise up to your hands and knees, you're going to set forearms down. And as you set forearms down, when we shorten this lever here, we tend to make it a little bit harder to find that external upper arm bone rotation. But think about trying to rotate your biceps out. And as you do that, maybe feel that broadening through the collarbones. Push with your hands, expand into the upper back. Head is lifted to the back plane of your body. From this place, walk your knees back behind your hips so you're more in a modified version of a low plank pose. If you'd like, you can lift your knees up and you can just lift one, you can lift two, or you can keep them both down. But again, re-rotate the upper arm bones and push, expanding into the upper back, keeping sides lifted, engage your belly, take another full big breath. Notice what's there for you and realize that you can always take a rest at any point. And then bring knees down if they're not already there. You can walk them in and settle hips back into your child's pose. Maybe even take fingertips and thumb in together to touch to create this triangle. Settle head down, deep breath. Two more big breaths using that press of your forehead into the ground to notice and be aware of whatever is showing up in your body. And then gently push yourself all the way up to your seat. And then we're going to come down onto our backs now. And so make sure that you can reach your props. And especially if you do have a pillow or bolster, get that ready close by for a propping of your legs for Shavasana. And now as you come all the way down onto your back, let's take arms to a cactus or 90 degrees. Knees are bent, dropping in together to touch. But from this place with that 90 degrees, just notice for yourself, if there's a part of your arms that is not touching the ground, it's okay, we're not going to try to force it. But just walk your shoulder blades a little closer together, inch them. And now just a couple movements. Keep your elbows bent and start to touch. Fingertips overhead. And again, backs of hands might be down, they might not. There's no right or wrong answer, just a chance to notice for yourself. And then bring them back to that 90-degree angle, elbows out from your shoulders. And then bring them to touch, fingertips up above your head. And then one more time, elbows to 90, and then fingertips to touch. And then as you come back to elbows at 90, you can separate your knees, walk your feet out wide, and take a couple movements here in your windshield wipers. Both knees drop to one side, both knees drop to the other side. And if your arms in this position does not feel comfortable, feel free to switch it so it feels better. And even reach it up overhead if you'd like to. Sometimes that gives you a little added length. And then as you come back into center now, walk your feet into about hip distance. Hands come back down by your sides, and you're taking your hands to your upper thighs, right up at your hip creases, and giving a push. And as you push here into your upper thighs, this enables you sometimes to tilt your pelvis so your low back is less flat against the ground. And take a big deep breath into your low back muscles. And now, as you bring your right knee in towards your chest, you can extend your left leg out against the ground if you would like. But we're going to hold on to the right knee with the right hand and just move it open and closed. It doesn't have to be a big movement. It can be a little movement, but we'll just give our hips a little bit of love. And then draw some circles with your knee. And switch directions with those circles. And then set right foot down, draw your left knee in. And again, optional, you can lengthen your right leg all the way out if it feels good. If it doesn't, keep it bent. And then your left hand is at your knee as you open and close your knee. And then little circles. And take it in the other direction. And then set both feet on the ground. Find your pillow or bolster if you have one. And you're setting your legs up over this pillow or bolster so it's underneath your thighs. From that place, if you have a blanket, you can also set it over the top of your hips, over your belly. And then hands come together in prayer position, thumbs touching your third eye. Take a couple big breaths here with your back settling into the ground. To tune in throughout your body, using your intuition to notice whatever is present. Whatever it is that you need in this moment to be able to settle. Go ahead and release your arms and settle into your favorite version of a resting pose, Shavasana. Bring awareness back to your breath. Begin to add movement into your fingers, your toes, your head, your hips. And as you're ready to bend your knees and roll over to your side. Try to keep your hips heavy as you use your hands to support you to rise all the way back upright. Coming back up to your seat. And with hands coming to connect that heart center, with your eyes closed, take a couple full breaths. Have a very peaceful, beautiful rest of your day. Namaste.